Okay, in this video, we are going to look at the patterns for sum of cubes. So sum of 2 cubes and difference of 2 cubes. So sometimes you'll see these referred to as Sotc, Dotc. So Sotcs and Dotcs are sum and difference of 2 cubes, little acronyms for them. And this is what you had in the launch activity to kind of investigate that pattern. So the sum of cubes, first of all, you do have to have perfect cube numbers, and you do want to have a plus sign. So the way we break that up is the first parenthesis will be the cube root of each of these. So most times if you look on your calculator, you can find a little cube root button, looks something like that. Now the second part of the pattern that you should have discovered was they took whatever was in that first position of the first factor and they squared it. To get the middle, they actually times these together, and then to get the very last one, they squared that one as well. Now, the signs do change because you need a lot of things to cancel out just to get a cubed to b cubed. So if this problem starts out plus, the first parenthesis will be plus, and then it's minus plus in the second part, okay? For a difference of 2 cubes, very similar. We're going to start off a minus b. So because that was a minus, we start off a minus. We square, we times, we square. And we are going to then, since this parenthesis here had a minus, this will be plus plus. So the last one is always a positive. So really it's the same pattern. It's just you have to realize what is happening with the signs, okay? I did give you some common cubes. So like 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, 5 cubed is 125. So those are some common ones that I might use. If you get one that's higher and you're not sure, just use that cube root button on your calculator. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple examples here. So the first one I gave is x cubed plus 27. So again, you want to jot these in your notebook. So you're going to break these two down into their to their cube roots. So if I look over at the table, I can see the cube root of 27 would correspond back to 3. So I'm going to put x plus 3. The second parenthesis, I take that first factor and square it. I multiply the two factors together. Oops, made a little circle. And then I square this last term. And notice that that middle one has a minus on it. So there's not a whole lot to doing these. You just have to know the pattern, okay? Let's try an x cubed plus 125, okay? So again, break that down to x plus 5. Again, 125. I can look on my little chart here. And I square, I times these two together, put a subtraction, and then I square that last term. So square, multiply, square, okay? Let's take a look at maybe one that's a little bit more complicated. Let's do 125. What do I got there? P cubed plus 64. Well, you have two numbers out, or you basically have two parts out front. So the cube root of 125 is 5, and cube root of p cubed is p. The cube root of 64, I can see over there, is 4. Okay? Now again, to get this parenthesis, I have to square this. So if I square 5p, I would get 25p squared. So don't forget to square the 5. To get the middle one, I times these two together. So if I multiply that, that'd be 20p. And then I got to square that last number, which is 4 squared makes 16. So this pattern works every time that you have perfect cube numbers. And you just look at, well, you can look at the chart. I will keep most of them, what's on this chart, but if you're not sure of a cube root, you can always use that button. So let's look at some subtraction ones, okay? So let's try x cubed minus 27. Okay, so we did x cubed plus 27. Let's do x cubed minus 27. So it's going to start off the same way with x and 3, but this time I put a subtraction sign. I square, I multiply, I square. Because this one was a minus, the next two are pluses. There's always one subtraction sign when you're factoring these. Okay, it's in the same place every time. If I got x cubed minus 125, again, I'm going to break that down to x and 5, put my minus. I'm going to square, I'm going to multiply, and then I'm going to square that last number. These are both pluses. Okay, and again, we'll try maybe a little more difficult one here. That extra number out front. So the cube root of both of those would be 2h. Cube root of 27 is 3. Put my minus. Now I do have to square this first part here. So 2h squared, keep in mind, makes 4h squared. Then I multiply these two in the middle. And then I square the last number. So it would look something along those lines. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, and it looks like you have some practice ones